Hi guys and welcome to the channel. I'm Break and it's about that time of the week where we do this week's best PC gaming news. Now obviously it's my opinion, but we're going to watch it anyway, right? So, let's do it. Right, so after the Summer Games Fest and some more reveals last week, there's plenty to talk about, but I'm going to make this as brief as possible and talk about what I like and hopefully what you like too. Otherwise, why are you here? I'm kidding. Please stay. So first up, we have, of course, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. Now, I'm not going to delve into it too much as I did a video on it. The last video I think I did was on Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. So go and check that out if you want to see more info. But yes, COD will be back in October, and I'm hoping it will be just as good as the 2019 iteration, with more movement options, a single player campaign and multiple game modes alongside Warzone 2. This could shape up to be a great year for COD fans, and I've got my fingers crossed that they actually pull it off and not do a 2042 with this one. Next in the list, we've got a zombie game that is coming to PC finally. It's a previous PlayStation exclusive in the form of The Last of Us. Yeah, it's coming to PC as a remastered version. So those familiar with the franchise know how great these games are, and I can see this remastered PC version being pretty amazing. And to those PC players who don't own a console, this is fantastic news, as more and more PlayStation exclusives are heading to PC, with the likes of God of War, Horizon Zero Dawn, Spider-Man, and of course now The Last of Us. But that's not all. The developers of The Last of Us, Naughty Dog, also gave us some news of an online multiplayer, which is going to be a standalone game. It is set in the Last of Us universe, and you can see in this screenshot here, it's clearly got the Last of Us vibes. I'm hoping this comes to PC, as it's an interesting idea to be able to run around in these amazing environments with a buddy. You can count me in on that one. Another game we got some more info for this week was Fat Shark's Warhammer 40,000's Darktide. Now, I played Vermintide 2 and I loved it. It's just fun. There's no other way of describing the game. My friends and even my wife played a crap ton of it, and it's just fun and frolic for hours. No bullshit, no bugs, just a great time. So what does Darktide bring to the party? Well, it's technically the sequel to Vermintide in a way, in the same way Lord of the Rings is to The Hobbit. The basis is there, but they're also their own separate identity. So what we do know is that unlike Vermintide, which had distinct players that you pick from, in Darktide there will be classes. However, you will create what you want to look like, so your own character, be it the hair, the skin colour, etc, etc. Along with that, you will pick its personality. Now this will give you different voice lines between characters and change up how the game plays with their different people's characters. Darktide will have a social hub as well, sort of Destiny-esque, in the form of a ship called the Morningside. Now here you can group up with your friends, meet others and team up, and also where you will choose your missions and your game options. Once you're in the game, Darktide has an emphasis on guns and gunplay, as well as the classic Vermintide gameplay with the melee carnage. They say it's a 50-50 split between the two, and different enemies will make you swap between the different ways to kill. The levels are very much Vermintide in structure. They are handcrafted and will be linked in a way to make you feel like the world is interlinked. So, for example, if you're in a boss lair, you may look into the distance and you'll see a landmark from a place that you were previously in a different mission. They're definitely trying something different in this one, and I'm looking forward to that release, which should be later this year. Let's talk about Starfield. So Starfield is the single-player space game from Bethesda. Now, obviously, Bethesda are the ones who brought the Elder Scrolls and the Fallout games. Now, if you played any of those two games, then we kind of know what we're gonna get here. But it should be a deep RPG-style experience with plenty of narrative that can suck you as the player in. From what we have seen so far, it looks impressive. The graphics look a ton better than the previous title, so I'm guessing they're actually doing this now on the updated engine, which was long overdue. Of course, being Bethesda, it will have a character creator and bugs, which they say is the most in-depth one they've made, as well as your skill trees, which they also say It's going to be rather in depth, and we know they do them pretty well. You can change and upgrade your ships and parts, and of course pilot it towards the stars. They didn't show off a takeoff or landing on a planet, however, so that may be a cutscene and a place to load. I'd curb your enthusiasm for that. Apparently there's going to be 100 systems with over 1,000 planets. I think there may be a lot of copy-paste with those, but again, time's going to tell. It's another game that I wish had a co-op element to it so I could play with a friend or two, but unfortunately that's not going to be the case, I guess, until some modder comes in it, of course, and makes it work. That's all we've really got from that. There's not much being given away, but I'll be watching this myself, and for the Game Pass people, this will be coming to you on day one, so that's obviously a bit of a bonus. The next game we're going to look at is it's called Nightingale. Now, I've touched on this one before in more depth, and I'll throw a card up if you want to see that, but Nightingale looks pretty damn cool. It's set in a sort of Victorian steampunk gas lamp style world, and it's made by some ex-BioWare devs. This has bags of potential. It's a shared world survival game. You got your usual survival stuff in here with gathering resources, crafting, blah blah blah, and working up to bigger and better things. The new news is the way you move between worlds, or realms as they call them. Somewhere in the world there'll be portals that you can use to take you to new lands, such as the Feywild Forest, harrowing swamps, shimmering deserts, and shadowy jungles, just to name a few. To use these portals you'll need to use realm cards. Now, they say each card will change what's in the realm, so if you think of them as a selector, you won't be far wrong. For example, you could choose a desert in the rain with a certain enemy type, and the portal will open to a realm based off your selection, i.e. your cards. I think this is a cool feature, along with the different enemies, NPCs, and the story that I think these guys will bring to the game. I think it's most definitely one to keep an eye on. Right, obviously there's been a ton of games showcased, from the new Cuphead to Street Fighter and the new F1 game. If there's something that you're excited for that clearly I haven't touched on, then please let me know in the comments below and we can have a little discussion about it, and I might even be able to learn a thing or two myself. Before you go, I want to talk about another game I'm excited for, and it's been pushed back like many others, like Starfield, to 2023, and that game's called Redfall. Again, I did a deeper look at Redfall a while ago, and I'll throw the link up the top for you. Redfall is a single player or up to 4 people co-op vampire shooter. You will play as one of 4 people who have different skill sets and abilities and try and claim back the town of Redfall from the blood-sucking vamps. The characters look great, the abilities look awesome, and I do like a good co-op shooter. Along with the vampire setting and the story, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing this one finally come, and following on from the Starfield, it also releases on Game Pass as a day one entry, so that's a double win for those 2 games. The new trailer and gameplay looks great, and Bethesda released a 5-minute video, which you're seeing here, when they're at a theme park area, which looks rather awesome. I'm hyped for this and the story in it, but again, like Starfield, it's pushed back and it's another wait, unfortunately. Well, that's all from me for the news this week. Again, let me know in the comments if you want this to be a regular sort of weekly thing to keep you updated on some PC games. Have a great day, and I'll catch you in the next one.